Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. There is a Canadian doctor who is, I can only describe as, a complete moron. She thinks people who use the word normal are extreme far right, anti-vaxxers, anti-maskers. How dare you use the word normal? If you do, you're scum and you deserve to be castigated and vilified because people who use the word normal are extremists. Well, let me show you her, because she's not normal. Let's look at this article. I'll start with the headline. Canadian masked physician, normal is the far right language of anti-vaxxers. No, it really isn't, but we'll look at this picture. So here's a picture of this mad, bonkers, moronic doctor. How the hell she got a doctorate, nobody knows. She's sitting alone in an office on a Zoom call, and she's wearing a mask, presumably in case she catches a virus from her computer. Right? So I think she's pretty thick to begin with. But anyway, Kaplan-Myrth, for that is her name, a physician based in Ottawa in Ontario, framed the word normal as far-right language used by anti-maskers and anti-vaxxers during a panel discussion regarding COVID-19 on Tuesday's edition of TVO's The Agenda with Steve Paikin, during which she wore a mask while sitting alone in an office. Moron. Anyway, the transcript of it went like this. Steve Paikin, he's the interviewer. It's become clear that the message from the provincial government is, we're all getting back to normal now, folks. So let's start there. Are we back to normal yet? Then mad bonkers moron Kaplan-Myrth said, no. So the language, actually, I'm going to make a little side here. When you start a sentence with so, it's ever so patronising. So, blah, blah, blah. Because what they're saying is, so I'm cleverer than you. So I'm going to explain this to you because you're stupid. So, you see? So you begin so, because so, do not ever begin a sentence with the word so, because A, it makes you sound like a patronising tart, and secondly, it's just a placeholder while you think and indicates how very, very stupid you are. So please don't do it, especially if you pretend to be a doctor like this mad woman does. Anyway, continuing, I get angry on that. It's one of those things, you hear it on Radio 4 a lot, when politicians who try to be like, clever, and they always begin, so the answer is, so we discovered that. Stop saying it. Stop saying it. I will continue now. The language that you use when you say something like normal is far-right language of anti-maskers and anti-vaxxers, she said, and ableists who disregard the impact of COVID on seniors, on children, on educators, and on essential workers or healthcare workers or our healthcare crisis. I will also point out she's wearing a mask, and it's been proven that masks made no difference whatsoever. There's nothing normal about getting COVID. Well, actually, there is, because you've normalised it. With your constant barrage, you normalised it, you stupid woman. Repeated infections, children and adults being hospitalised, and long COVID. Repeated infections. So you're saying that the repeated infections are because the injections don't work. Nice. Vaccination. Well, I've been vaccinated 9 times. I've had COVID 4 times. You're killing your own argument there, love. Anyway, there's nothing normal about taking away the protections and the proactive measures that we've had to help reduce the transmission of COVID. Okay, let me do a quick follow through with you. And I mean no disrespect in asking this. Actually, I would have meant an awful lot of disrespect, because that woman has just disrespected you, sunshine. She's patronisingly spoken to you like you're a moron, when in actual fact the one who's sitting in a room alone with a mask on is the moron. But anyway, he's being kind and polite, I think. We've obviously done hundreds of programmes during the course of COVID-19, and I don't think we've ever had a guest who kept their mask on during the interview. So again, without prejudice, I merely ask, how come you're wearing yours now? And she begins again, and guess what she starts with? So, let me explain, because I'm cleverer than you. So, I'm a doctor. You couldn't make this up. So, let me explain, so I'm a doctor. Why not say, let me explain as a doctor? Can't say that, because you have to patronise even more, you obnoxious twonk. I see patients in my office. Well, that makes a bloody change. Can't get a doctor around here. I've just had patients who are in my office with their babies, and I have more patients coming in this afternoon. COVID is airborne. Is it? Is it really? That means COVID remains in the air after... Oh, you're explaining. Your woman's explaining or your doctor's explaining. Can't understand which. Listen to this. COVID is airborne. That means COVID remains in the air even after you've left the room. I have to tell you that because you're too stupid to know what airborne means. This doctor is, if she's a doctor, is the most patronising, obnoxious piece of human filth I think I've ever known. If she was my doctor, I would immediately change doctors. So, changing doctors means I don't see you again. In case you don't understand it, you explaining old tonk. Anyway, I can't even go on with her because she's just a moron and a horrible, horrible, obnoxious piece of filth. Oh, dearie me. And look, there's loads of it. There's people going on about it. But, you know, look at that. Sitting in an office wearing a mask because there's nobody there. But actually, no, that isn't why. All that airborne nonsense, that isn't why this woman is wearing a mask. This woman is wearing a mask because she is an extremist. She is a hate-filled Marxist extremist. And the wearing of the mask isn't to stop her getting COVID. It's to normalise the mask. It's to make sure, it's to advertise, look at me wearing a mask. Look, scare, scare, scare. Because I have a vested interest in keeping this shit up. Well, love, you make yourself look like what you are. A complete obnoxious piece of filth. Anyway, good luck. I'm coming up now. Strangely, that made me angrier than I thought I was going to be. I thought I was just going to riff on her with the mask and the terminology. But as I read it again, it really did get to me. But I really don't like sentences beginning with so. But also, I don't like people who wear masks, not for their own benefit, but as to advertise the wearing of the mask. The very famous one of all the world leaders at the G7. And they weren't wearing their mask. And they've got the video of them. And they're all wandering around, talking to each other, shaking hands, not maintaining a social distance. And then one of the photographers said, OK, it's time for your photograph now. Time for the group photograph. And they all moved apart and they all put their masks on because they knew that that would be the picture and the image they wanted to be seen. And so, oh, quick, everybody, put your masks on. It's important for the image. And yet they weren't wearing them because they're all hypocritical bastards. Anyway, I'm done. I'm out. Have a great day. If you like what you see and hear on the channel, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Ring the bell for notification of future outputs. Leave a like, leave a comment. Please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, don't listen to morons like that, and goodbye.